Mr. Roberts here,
and this is Martial Arts Mastering.
Okay, so in this episode we're going to be covering a very basic stretch and warm-up. So this is meant for you beginner students. So if you're an advanced student and you know what you're doing, you might want to go to another episode because you might find this one a little bit easy.
But the reason we do a stretching for you basic students is to make sure that we don't get injured while we're training, but it's also there to help us keep fit and keep healthy. And we'll explain that in this video right now.
So before we start, we get a lot of people here at 720 asking us how often they should stretch, and it all depends on where you are in your training.
So if you're at the start of your training, you want to be looking at stretching about twice a week to start with. So you might want to stretch on a Monday or Tuesday at the start of the week, and then at the end of the week, maybe a Thursday and a Friday, so you get some rest days in between, so your muscles get time to recuperate and build back together. Because when you're stretching, it's a lot like going to the gym. You're slowly making those muscle fibers to grow back more flexible and slightly stronger. Okay, so you need that rest period.
So to start with, we're going to do a basic warm-up. Now your warm-up is there to get your heart racing and pumping, and to get your muscles nice and supple, so that when you do come to that stretching, you're not at risk of tearing any muscles.
And the kind of exercises you do for your warm-up are things like press-ups,
Sit-ups,
star jumps,
shadow boxing,
jogging on the spot,
and just generally stuff to get your heart pumping and to get you a little bit tired out so you're ready for those stretches.
So for his stretch, we're going to start with his neck and work his way down to his legs. And the reason we stretch his neck is when we're doing things like spinning kicks or spinning punches, because obviously you're turning your head a lot to spot your target, which we'll cover in another video. But we don't want to pull that neck when we're turning it, so that's why we're going to start with his head first.
Another reason why it's important to stretch his neck is because if you do a lot of sparring in your training, you will know that when you get hit hard, your neck turns very quickly and it can hurt, and it can sometimes crick your neck. If you do these stretches, you'll stop that from happening, and the only place it's going to hurt when you get hit in sparring is the place you got hit.
So how we warm his neck up is like this. Hey, so now we're going to start off with our head stretches. So we're going to place our hands on our hips first, and this is to help lift our shoulders up, and then all we're going to do is circle our head round. So nice and steady as you circle your head round, so you don't hurt your neck. And once you've done it about 8 to 10 circles one way, you go the other way as well. So we're evening both sides up. And then once you've done that 8 to 10 sets, we're now going to move on to the next stretch, which is going to be looking up and down. So we go up to the ceiling and then down to the floor, so his chin is touching his chest, and then just do that in a nice steady motion. And then once you've done 8 to 10 sets of that, we're then going to tilt from side to side. So we go over to one side, ear touching your shoulder, and then over to the other side. And then again. And again. And then you get into a nice steady motion. And again, do 8 to 10 reps of that. And then relax. And then we're going to turn his head. So we're going to turn left to right. Or you can go right to left if you like. And again, 8 to 10 sets. And that'll do nicely. Okay? So that is your head routine for basic stretch.
So now that we've warmed up our neck, we're going to move on to our arms. Now stretching your arms is important in martial arts because what do we do a lot of in this sport? We do a lot of punching. So it's important that you do not overlook these arm stretches because they're just as important as your legs, your torso or your neck.
And the stretches for his arms are just like these. Hey guys, so now we're going to do our arm routine. So all we're going to do is start off with a circle motion with our arms to warm your chest and your shoulders up. And then we're going to circle backwards. You want to be doing this about 8 to 10 circles. And then once you've done that, you're going to take one arm. You're going to place it on the middle of your back. And then you take your other hand, put it on your elbow, and just pull it backwards. You're going to hold that for 8 to 10 seconds. And then change sides. And make sure when you're doing it, you're actually pulling your arm, if you can watch, I'm pulling my arm backwards. And just hold that for 8 to 10 seconds. And then once you've done that stretch, you're going to relax. You're going to take one arm across the front of your body. You're going to take the other arm and put it underneath and pull it toward yourself. So you're stretching all your shoulders across here and give it a good pull. And again, 8 to 10 seconds on that. And then swap your arms over, so it goes across the front of your body. The other arm goes underneath, and you pull. Not too hard. And 8 to 10 seconds time, you will relax. And that is your basic stretch for your arms. Well done, everybody. So now we're going to move on to our upper body stretch, which is our torso. And the reason we stretch this part of his body is because we do a lot of twisting in martial arts as you're doing punches and even kicks. So here are the stretches that you want to be doing. Hey guys, so now we're going to do our stretch for the torso, our upper body. So all I have to do is place your hands onto your hips. You're going to have your legs just over shoulder width apart, and all we're going to do is lean down to one side. So we're going to lean all the way over. When you're doing this stretch though, make sure you're not leaning forwards. That's a different stretch. You need to be leaning to the side. So your shoulder and your elbow pointing up to the ceiling. And we're just going to hold that for 10 seconds, stretching all this side up here. And then once you've done that 10 seconds, we change to the other side. So exactly the same, make sure you lean to the side. And also your head, make sure you're not up in this position. Keep your spine in a nice curve. So you want that head to be tilting down as well. And then 10 seconds time, you're going to come back up. And then for this stretch, you're going to put your arms up into this position and you're just going to twist from side to side. So we're going to turn. And as you're doing this, make sure you turn your head as well. And then once you've done about 10 of them, you want to relax and put those hands on the bottom of the middle of your back here. And then you're going to push your hips forwards. You're going to lean back and look up to the ceiling. And you're just going to hold that for about 10 seconds. And once you've done that, you're going to come back up. You're going to relax. You're going to chill out, because that's the end of your basic torso stretch. Well done.
Okay, so now we're going to go into the big stretch, which is our legs. Now, stretching your legs in martial arts is imperative because one, we do a lot of kicking in martial arts, and two, for you beginners, these movements are going to feel very unnatural and sometimes uncomfortable. So these stretches are going to get you used to those movements.
And the muscles that we're going to be stretching are our hamstrings, our adductors, we've got glutes, we've got quads, we've got calves, and we've got hip flexors.
And these are how you're going to stretch those muscles.
Hey guys, how are you going? So now we're going to stretch his legs. So we're going to start with our hamstrings first, which is the big muscle on the back of your legs, just down here, on the back of your thighs. So all I want to do is place your legs about double shoulder width apart. You're going to place your hands on your hips, you're going to keep your back straight, and you're going to lean forward, so sticking your bum out. And from here, go as far forward as you can. If you can only get to here, that's fine, because don't forget this is a basic stretch. And once you're in that position, just hold it for about 10 seconds. Once you've done that, you're then going to fold your arms in front and push just a little bit further so you can feel it pulling even more. And after another 10 seconds, you're then going to grab both ankles, and if you can, you're going to pull just a little bit further. And hold that for 10 seconds. And then once you've done that, we're going to then reach over both hands to one leg. So we're going to go both hands onto one side, grab your ankle, and then try and get your head down to your knee, or as close as you can get it. And hold that side for 10 seconds. And then once you've done that side, we go over to the other side, again grabbing the ankle and just pull it as far as you can. And remember, when you're stretching, it's as far as you can go, not as far as I can go, okay? So if you can't get your head onto your knee, don't do it yet, that will come in time. And then we come back up, relax a little bit, and that is your hamstrings stretched. Well done. Hey guys, so now we're going to be stretching our adductors, and these are one of the most important muscles to stretch for martial arts, because this muscle is the one that's used for most of our kicks, for roundhouse kicks, side kicks, hook kicks, anything that lifts your leg away from your other one at this position. So we're going to stretch these muscles on the inside of your thighs. So all I want you to do to start off with is open your legs fairly wide, and then you're going to place your hands on the floor. You're going to have one leg bent and one leg straight. But the secret to this one is to make sure that your foot on your bent leg is further out than what your knee is. So you don't want to be like this, okay? You need that foot to be further out than what your knee is. And then from here, to start off with, just place your hands on the floor. If you wish, you can tuck your elbow under your knee. And I would recommend about 20 seconds holding this stretch on one side. before you do the other. So make sure as you're doing it, you're really pushing down so you can feel this straight leg stretching. And then once you've done that for 20 seconds, you're going to switch over to the other side. So you don't move your feet, you just rock from that side straight over into this position. And again, if you want to tuck your elbow and your knee, you can do to get that extra stretch. And then you're just pushing down again, nice and steady. And do that for about 20 seconds. Now once we've done this, on my classes I always revisit the other side, do it again, but this time with a slight variation. We drop his arm down to the floor, just to get that little extra pressure onto that stretch. If you're not in that position yet, if you're not ready for that, you can still stay up, but still revisit it again to get extra flexibility. And again, we're going to swap sides, another 20 seconds. And again, if you want to pop that arm down, you can. And then once we've done that, we're just going to come back up onto his hands, and you're going to straighten both legs. And I would, at this point, just take a couple of seconds just to let those muscles just relax a little bit. And then we're going to try and open his legs as wide as you can to what we call the box splits. So all I want you to do is slide both legs out and sink right down as far as you can. Now remember, this is as far as you can, not as far as I can. So if you can only get to here, and you can feel it stretching even less than this, then that's good. As long as you can feel it stretching, that means it's working. So down you go. And again, we're just going to hold this for about 30 seconds. Okay? Now there are variations of doing these stretches, but this is what I'm going to stick with for this basic stretch. Once you've done that for about 30 seconds, we're just going to roll back onto his bum. And then from here, we're just going to place his hands onto his hips. And just to loosen up, we're just going to rock from side to side, nice and steady. And as you're doing this, you just lean forward slightly. So don't be like sat back doing this, because it doesn't really do anything. You want to be leaning forwards. So we're leaning forwards, or at least upright. And then once you've done that a few times, you just want to then reach over to one side. So we grab his ankle with both hands, or place your hand on the floor, and just lean towards that leg. Now for this one, a lot of people, when they first start, they tend to do this and lean away. You want to be leaning forward. So your opposite shoulder should be leaning forward. You can get your arm down, that's perfect, okay? And then your head leans towards your knee. And again, about 10 seconds, then change sides. And we do exactly the same on the other leg. So arm down if you can get it. If you can't, just keep it here. That's up to you. And then if you can, head down. And then once you're doing that for about 10 seconds, we come back up. And this time, we're going to lean forwards into the middle. So what I want you to do, by this time, your legs might be getting comfy, you might have closed your legs slightly, not due to you wanting to, but you slowly slip inwards. So all I want you to do is place one hand in front, one hand behind. We're going to lift his bum off the floor and just push his hips forward slightly so his legs open a little bit. And then all I want you to do is place your hands in front and then just lean forward. If you can get your head to the floor, perfect. If not, you'll get there one day. Just hold that for about 10 seconds and then relax. And then all you've got to do there is nice and slowly just bring your legs back together and just give it a little shake, because you've been in that stretch for quite some time. So you don't just want to try and close your legs really fast, because you'll really hurt your muscles. And then just give it a little shake, loosen off. You might want to rock it from side to side and just feel that stretch. And that is your adductor stretched. Well done. Hello, so now we're going to be stretching our glutes and quads. So all I want you to do to start off with is bend this foot into here, and then the other leg is going to go round the back. So we take it round the back this way. So your leg is in this position. So the first one for our glutes is we're going to lean forwards first. So all I want you to do, keep your back straight, chest out, you're going to lean forwards. You're going to reach your arms as far in front as you can, and then you're going to get your head down to the floor, or as close as you can get it to the floor. Once you're there, you hold it for about 10 seconds, and then once 10 seconds is up, you come back up, and then we're going to lay backwards for our quads. Now when we're laying backwards, remember this is a basic stretch, so it's however flexible you are, not how flexible I am. So all I want you to do is either hands back first, and we're stretching these. If you can't go any further than that, that's fine. But if you can't feel the stretch, elbows down. Make sure you're keeping it even, so you're not like stretching on one side more than the other. If that's easy, you just lay all the way back. And then from there, if you want to just chill out, put your hands behind your head, but don't fall asleep. And you're going to hold that 10 seconds, and then come back up. And now to the other side, we just switch his legs over. So all I want you to do is bring that leg round to the front, other leg goes around the back, and then we put this foot up to his inside of his thigh or his knee, and then we're going to lay forwards for his glutes first, arms in front, heads down. Remember to keep your back straight, and hold that for 10 seconds. Once 10 seconds is up, we come back up, and then we lay backwards for his quads. So same again, either hands, elbows, or all the way down. Hands behind your head, no snoozing. And then 10 seconds, come back up. And then from there, you can just relax. And that is how we stretch our quads and our glutes for a basic stretch. Well done, everyone. Hey everyone, so now it's time to stretch our calf. Now we've only got one stretch for this calf, so follow me. So all I want you to do is place your hands on a good solid wall. You're going to step one foot back, and you're going to step it back so you can't quite get your heel to the floor. And then the whole idea is to push that heel down so you feel it stretching on your calf. Now your calf is here, so it's the lower part of your leg. Okay, so we're going to push, stretch that calf out, 10 seconds, and then after that 10 seconds, you got it, we're changing legs right now. And then you push down for 10 seconds, and once that 10 seconds is up, relax. And that is how we stretch our calf in the basic stretch. Well done everybody. Hey, so now we're going to finish our stretch off, and this is what you want to do if you're going to be training after your stretch. So we're going to place our hands on our hips, and we're going to circle our hips around, big circles all the way around to loosen these hips up, ready for kicking. And once you've done it 8 to 10 circles round, you go the other way, big circles. And then we're going to finish with putting our feet together, hands on our knees, and we're just going to rock our knees forwards and back. Make sure when you're doing this, you don't push your legs too far back, don't hyperextend your knees. Just keep a slight bending up all the way. And once you've done that, we're going to circle around one way, and then circle the other way. And again, you're going for 8 to 10 reps on this. And then once you're done, relax, chill out, or get some training done. So that is your stretch done. Well done everybody. And if you keep stretching like that, you're going to be seeing a big difference in your flexibility over time. So keep it up. Well done everybody.
Okay guys, and that concludes our episode on a very basic warm-up and stretch. We hope you enjoyed it, we hope you found it informative, and we hope you wake in the morning.
And don't forget, leave us a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this episode.
But until next time guys, stay awesome and keep training. See you later. So first off, we're going to start with a warm-up. Now the warm-up is there to get your heart pumping and to get your muscles nice and supple, so then when we do those stretches, and then we can go. Nice!